Yo, 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 yo. What the fuck is up, fight fans? It's your man 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. You already know what it is. And welcome back to Reaper Gang Radio. This is officially Tay Watch. The art of synchronized ducking. Hey, but what can we say? They do say ducks are great swimmers. So shout out to it's too early for me screaming that shit at the top of my lungs. But shout out to Skitty, man. Shout out to Deontay Wilder. And, this episode will be all about, the many delusions that are Deontay Wilder and some of the things he said in the media. Character flaws. He has many of them. Delusions. Suffers from the grandeur. I don't know, man. Like when I said the other day, I really believe that these fighters think we're that stupid. Like shit happens in life and we just happen to forget about it almost immediately. Just like time just skips by that quick. So, Deontay Wilder is here to resurrect and save the game to come this October because, the rest of the world of boxing, biggest heavyweight match arguably in history, you have a problem with ducking. Hey, man. What a world we live in. So let's unpack a couple of things he says, and let's dive into the psychosis that is Deontay Wilder, or maybe I'm a little psychotic. Maybe this is just his truth. And maybe I'm just underestimating that truth. James Jameson, salute. Andrew, salute. John B. Poetic, salute. Me being on time isn't really one of my things. I schedule these things with all the intentions to be on time. But look, shit, life happens when you have such a short amount of time to get shit done. You do it within the best of your ability. So if I'm late, I apologize. This, for one, just is not my job. I don't get paid for this shit. But anyway, yeah. Isn't the irony incredible, Mr. T? Salute. Isn't the irony incredible that the one person who never made a fight with Alexander Povetkin, called him a drug cheat, who ended up fighting a 50-plus-year-old, 60-plus-year-old dinosaur whose birth certificate is probably somewhere lost in carbon dating? Isn't it funny that, you wouldn't fight Alexander Povetkin, but you found time to fight him? Not only did you find time to fight him once, but you found time to fight him twice. I find it funny that the guy who was considered a baby in 2015, 32 fights to the good in his career, after I believe he beat Bermane Stavern, you didn't have time to fight the Klitschkos. I do believe they called you a baby. They said they weren't going to throw you out there too quick. They didn't want to damage the goods. The fact that you were never, ever good, the fact that you were completely overbloviated bullshit information that people just threw out there, capping on top of your name, faking that you're this great fighter, we know that's bullshit. I guess the American fans wanted to be drunk enough to go along with the bullshit because they needed some glimmer of hope in the heavyweight division on the American market. I don't know. I, for one, just don't get on board with the faking. But this is what we know about Deontay Wilder. Since 2014, it has always been one face, one name, and you have never unified one title. Shit, you couldn't even find time to fight Charles Martin. But this is the guy who doesn't like ducks. He doesn't like ducks. Well, considering the way you look in that water with that big smile on your face, S-curl dripping, you know what I'm saying, choker chain jewelry, only in the only the way the PBC fighters like to swag it out, choking the fuck out of your neck. It looks like he's been enjoying himself this go round. It looks like the training regimen has been impeccable. He's getting the most out of it. He's on his way to greatness once again. Maybe he won't get stomped out like a fire that has just gotten a little bit out of control that you need to do something with ASAP. Maybe Tyson Fury won't treat that dude like the out of control little cat, campfire that's just Getting a little too out of hand. Maybe you won't get stomped the fuck out. Or maybe you will. But if in any way he's supposed to take all of this so-called training that he has been doing and try to convince us that that is what's going to take place to Tyson Fury in any way, shape or form, what you've been doing to the gloves, what you've been doing to the protective gear wrapped around Malik Scott's chest, I just don't believe you. But hey, you could be making a believer out of somebody. That somebody just couldn't be me. Now, we got to dive into this a little bit here. The guy who completely went back to basics in 2019, the guy who was scared shitless of Dominic Brazil, who had to go back to basics in 2019 just to prepare himself for that fight. I believe it was 2019, right? They fought in May of 2019. Who cares? Doesn't even fucking matter. It was around that time, and that's the guy you were fighting, and that's the guy who you needed to go back to basics for. Not a Tyson Fury, not a Vladimir Klitschko, not an Anthony Joshua, but a Dominic Brazil, because you carefully avoided him for as long as you could. People started screaming for some type of legitimacy to your resume, because clearly it wasn't real. It's been cab drivers, it's been pickup men, it's been janitors, it's been your local plumber, your local electric guy, your local Uber guy, Pizza Hut delivery guy. People are getting tired of it. So when you look at these training videos and we see Deontay Wilder going out of his way to post them, you can tell by the smile he's proud of himself. That tells you one thing. He really believes in what he's doing right now. He believes in what he's doing. That might be shocking, yeah. But I think he really believes in what he's doing. And salute, TK. And if Deontay Wilder truly believes in what he's doing right now, that only spells for a recipe for an even worse disaster than what was February 22nd. Because if I'm looking at what you're doing, hitting the mitts, if I'm looking at you hitting the bag, if I'm looking at you making a whole ass out of yourself during that episode of Tay-Watch, Synchronized Ducking Volume 1, if I'm watching you do all of these things and you're off balance, your hooks are wide, they're lazy, there's no speed, there's no precision and speed behind them, you're not really connecting with any influence because you're trying to flail at the body with everything that you got to try to make more an impact on the bag than worry about, the repetition, the repetitive nature of your punches and how they are supposedly supposed to be looking better after the fact. He really believes himself. So what's scarier here? The fact that he's going in the ring to completely get outclassed and possibly, quite arguably, end up in a vegetative state, or the fact that he really believes himself right now and all of the shit that him and Malik Scott are working on. And like this guy has shown us in such a short period of time that he's literally gotten up and he's done nothing with his career. Every single one of his fights were street fights. They were street fights. That's all they were. That's why the opponent matched the technique. Then when the opposition doesn't match the technique, everything falls down, you disappear for a year, you come back with a couple of videos, now you talking spicier than ever. Now, for some reason, Deontay Wilder resents you guys, the fans, or if you happen to be fans of him, he resents you. He doesn't want your fake love. He doesn't want your hellos. He doesn't want your congratulations. He doesn't want any of the above. You want to know why that is? Because he feels like you betrayed him, fight fans. Yeah, he feels like you betrayed him. What do I mean by that? Y'all started flip-flopping on the dude. If you were one of those who started flip-flopping, because everybody over here, outside of a couple of heckling bastards, heckling misfits, I should say. They believed in him, but nobody over here did. So we never flip-flopped on them. We always believed you were exactly what you were. Shit staying in the bottom of a 375-pound obese man's underwear. The sweat ring that sits in a pair of underwear, whitey-tighties, that haven't been changed for possibly 2 weeks. Band just stinking. Feel bad for whoever's living that life. We always thought you were trash, hot dumpster juice, sticky brown shit at the bottom of the barrel, a guy who just is a street fighter. A very unqualified street fighter, I should say. A guy who really, the windmills, the performance of a female street fighter. We always thought you were that guy. But he feels some type of way about you guys, the fight fans. Y'all switched up on him. How dare you do that? How could you do such a thing? How could you switch up on Deontay Wilder? I'm ashamed of you guys. I'm ashamed of you Mitches. How could y'all do something like that? To switch up on Deontay Wilder, a guy who has fought proverbial nobodies. How could you switch up? I mean, he got his ass whipped. The first fight. People had their speculations. Undoubtedly, I felt as though you lost. You didn't want to listen to Andre Ward. No, he just happened to be a coon because he didn't believe you. And everybody else who thought you were Floyd Mayweather, he's just trying to steal your shine. Hey, but even though you just amassed, what is the totality of your fortune in 2020, considering he's been a billionaire, spending money, flying jets all across the world, multiple muses, side chicks, concubines, whatever the hell you want to call them, living a hell of a good life, and a hell of a fucking good fighter, might I add you. But hey, he's trying to steal your shine. And fans, how dare you? How dare you guys turn your back on Deontay Wilder? You should all be ashamed of yourself. So you guys have been warned by Deontay on Twitter that if you guys happen to walk up to him, congratulate him, or give him any signs of, bigging up him, picking Deontay Wilder up, if he happens to be victorious, he's going to take that as a sign of assault. So he will have nothing more to do than to defend himself. My God. Yeah. So now Deontay Wilder, and he means the shit. If you think he's bullshitting, we could put allegedly there, but he didn't put allegedly there, so why should I? But allegedly, if you congratulate him, if he is victorious, as anybody should, there's nothing wrong with eating crow. If you have to eat it, fuck it, eat your crow. But if you congratulate that man, he's going to take it as a sign of assault. He's going to go full self-defense, windmill swinging, shit stain throwing. Hey, man. Can't be humble in defeat. Can't even be humble when you're premeditating a victory that will never be there. Delusional. This guy. I mean, what do y'all think of that? What do y'all think of this new version of Deontay Wilder, aka Tay Watch, aka the synchronized ducker, aka the duck who does not like duckers, aka the duck who turned down $120 million in a 3-fight deal, $20 million worth of easy work for Dominic Brazil, 2 Anthony Joshua's fight, legacy on the line, undisputed. Mr. One Face, One Name, One Champion, that's all there can be. It's just too much going on in the heavyweight division. Too many belts, too many names. There only needs to be one. There only needs to be one face, one name, Deontay Swamp Water Wilder. That guy. How do you feel about this new Deontay Wilder? How do you feel about the guy who's telling you, if you congratulated him, if you happen to be at the fight, which I don't know why anybody would want to pull up on Stank on you anyway and watch that shit. That's what it would be. It'll be equivalent to Stank on you. I don't know why anybody would want to watch that shit. But if, doing what fans usually do, if we are wrong, and as men, when we wrong, we own up to it. Something that he's never done. But if you were just to congratulate him for a non-existent great victory that he's already visualizing his win, visualize your win, visualize your win, Jesse, visualize your win. Y'all remember that shit on Fast and the Furious 1? Where the dude was so confident that he could beat, what's the dude name that had the vicious ass black S2000 at Race Wars in the desert? You know, little mechanic dude with the white Jetta Mark III. How he was telling them at the steering wheel, visualize your win, Jesse, visualize your win, visualize your win, bro. Deontay is just visualizing his win right now. Why? I have no idea. And you know what happened to Jesse, right? He was so confident and visualizing his win, put up the big bet. Bet the pink slips on it, baby. What happened to Jesse? He goes down the quarter mile, blows his load too quick, kind of like Deontay Wilder did in, the infant stages of, his relationship with Telly Swift. Already ready to cash in all his chips, blow his node all inside those sweet watery guts. What does he do? Hits the nos a little too early. What does the guy do? Too soon, Junior. Pew! Blows right past him. Could that be Tyson Fury in that 2000? I'm sure it could be. And what did Jesse do? While he was visualizing his win, being all cocky and shit, he booked it. Went left. People were trying to figure out where he's going. You got the other guy mad. He's like, where's he going with the car, bro? Could that be Deontay Wilder? I think so. Because when you get too cocky, you're visualizing a win when you haven't even been able to sit comfortably in the loss. This is the type of shit that's going to happen to you. This is going to happen to you. So, in all of his fucking just unfiltered, just like unleashed, who he had, I don't know where the PR team is. Has anybody seen Shelly lately? Because I don't know who's putting a muzzle on. Somebody needs to put a muzzle on this chihuahua. Because when you're talking about assaulting fans, when you're visualizing a win, when you've never even owned up to the loss, you haven't even owned up to the outcome of the first fight, you disappear off the scene, you come back, and now you got it all together, and we are the ones who are tripping. Can y'all believe that shit? We're tripping. Did you believe that shit? We're tripping. We're losing the plot. We all should be highly invested into the third fight, that is Wilder versus Fury 3. If it happens, I have no idea. But is this confidence, or is this a little boy internally sitting in a corner, just resting in his own urine and fecal matter, literally shitting and pissing himself, scared of the contractual obligation that lays before him? Now, see, of course, I could just jump here, jump there, go all over the place about what Deontay Wilder is, because, yeah, he's a joke. But I just want to deal with the reality of it all. Deal with the mind. Deal with this dude. Like, where's his head at right now? He's confident. So that's what shadow boxing. Look, man, if you guys were ever feeling like you were at a tough point in your fucking life right now, I swear to God, if you were ever feeling like you were at an all-time low mentally and physically, just go look up Malik and God damn it, what's the name of the OnlyFans page? I believe it's Malik and Angie or some shit like that. Go find Malik and Angie on OnlyFans, and I promise you, Malik Scott will make you a fucking animal. I'm only saying that from, what I've experienced here recently. I mean, shit, I'm looking at Deontay Wilder right now. Look at the confidence. So if this is an all-time low in your life right now, hey, man, just go for $20 a month. You can sign up to Malik and Angie's OnlyFans page, and I'm sure, Malik Scott and his training regimens could breathe new life into you. Because, I mean, shit, I'd like to know, how does a person get their ass whooped so bad and they could just come back, acting like they're chin checking the rest of the boxing world? I'm confused. Look at some of these comments, man. Shout out some of the people in the building. TK, salute. Martin Ramos, salute. Dolomite, what it do? He said, Wilder been getting all that Malik Scott love. That tender Malik Scott loving. Bald head, acidic Jewish sideburns like a Jewishman. Big girl, walking around, half hair, half bald, wilding out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, if that's what it takes, sign me the fuck up. Sign me up. Fish, salute. Controversial trilogy followed by a quad leading to a race by Gotti retirement. Look, man, is this a sprint? Is this a 100-yard dash to retirement? Is this a scared child inside speaking out, hoping that he can get you guys to believe a little bit that maybe you'll take some money out of your pocket and buy this trilogy? Because I truly believe that the only people that will buy these trilogy are the people that want to see this motherfucker in a wheelchair, sucking through a straw. That's it. Because you can't tell me from the first two fights that anybody's going to go out and buy this fight with the thoughts that he's going to win. But I'll take that back. Because there are people that really believe Deontay Wilder is going to go out here and just shock the motherfucking world. I just can't get with it. I can't. Chin Smoke, what it do? Salute, King. James Jameson, Skinny! Shout out to the overflowing toilet that is Deontay Wilder with somebody else's fecal matter. Mr. Ring, I salute. 6'7" skid mark, man. God damn, man. I mean, this is what it is. This is what it is. He's the 6'7" skid mark that is suffering from his own delusion, who ain't stepped outside of his own motherfucking bubble, popped that shit to see that the rest of the world is looking at you funny, homeboy. This is Tay Watch. Synchronized Ducking, Volume 1. We peep your energy. We peep your movements. We see how you out here running around, bro. And it just, man, I really, really, really see you falling hard. And rightfully so, you should. You should. Because nobody should ever have to deal with no shit like this again. Not this type of behavior from a 33-year-old man. These ain't the actions of a 33-year-old heavyweight champion that I've ever been able to resonate with. Like if any great can look back on this dude's career, like, yo, the only response that you could genuinely give is, you can't be fucking serious. Like, all of the promising eras in boxing would have to look at this shit right now and be like, yo, how the fuck did we get here? And who the fuck gave him the keys? Who gave him the keys, y'all? Who gave him the keys? How did we get here? How did we get here, y'all? That's the thing. Who gave this weird motherfucker the keys? And how the fuck did we get here? Because, like, when I really sat back and I was listening to everything that he was saying, I really had to draw a conclusion that I'm like, yo, this dude is like, he's packed with like some delusional ass confidence right now. That's all of that. That's all of that Malik Wilder motherfucking stuffing going up in his motherfucking ass and in his brain. Malik Scott. What is Malik Scott doing to this dude? Don House UFC cut helping train Wilder said, we are not going to do the same thing and just going for a KO. We're going to box him, aim for the body, and break him down. if you throwing the hooks or if you're throwing lead straights the way that I seen in any of those videos, motherfucker, the only thing they're gonna be oh my God. The only thing gonna be broken down is Deontay Wilder and whoever is trying to get the freaking gurney in and out the ring. He's leaving on a stretcher, man. If that's the approach that Deontay Wilder is gonna take in fighting a Tyson Fury, pray for balance, man, because you have none. You loading up like, yo, did you like imagine him head dipped on the inside, winging hooks, winging straights and uppercuts, really acting like he's gonna bully and get on the front foot and fight Tyson Fury. Do y'all see how funny that is? You gotta see it. Like, that is hilarious. Deontay Wilder is gonna get on the front foot with Tyson Fury. He's gonna put him on the back foot, pressure him, and he's gonna hook off at the body. And he's planning on a meticulous breakdown throughout the rounds of really doing body work. What you gonna be just checking him with the jab all night? What? He don't even have a jab. He's never learned how to use a jab. Like, this is the dude who makes excuses for going 7 rounds with Luis Ortiz for the second time, 7 or 8 rounds. Forgive me if I'm wrong. And then when you finally catch him with a shot, you didn't throw one punch that like y'all didn't like for. I think people underestimate how stupid this dude really is. Do y'all remember when he fought Luis Ortiz the second time or whatever? He didn't throw a fucking real punch up until towards the end of the fight when he knocked him down. Then he had nerve to say, yeah, I was just waiting for the perfect setup, bro. So you mean to tell me, guys, that Deontay Wilder went 7 of 12 rounds setting Luis Ortiz up, and you found that perfect timing in the 7th or 8th round? Help me make this, help me help y'all help this shit make some sense. Because there's how many rounds in a boxing match? 12. So you go 6 of them not throwing no punches. So you just that confident that you just gonna end it like that, huh? And that was supposed to be the setup. No, motherfucker, that was the first time you threw a damn punch. It's just sad, man. It's sad. And people believe this guy. Unfortunately, they believe the things that he says out his mouth. I gotta be very calculated because I got a very small window when I set the guy up and it bang, baby. Good night. I ain't never seen it coming, baby. Bang, baby. Good night, baby. You ain't never see it coming, baby. Are you kidding me? They got to be perfect for 12 rounds. I only got to be perfect for 2 seconds. Bang, baby. Good night, baby. They never seen it coming, baby. Bro. And the sad thing is they're like inferior boxing minds in the world that truly don't understand what's going on, and they believe this shit, y'all. They really believe this shit, y'all. Body of a Clydesdale horse, head of a Rocky horse. Bam, baby. Deontay Wilder, man, out to make everybody a believer, man. Like, look, you can't do anything but laugh. Just like they even try to put any of this in perspective, all you can do is laugh. We're talking about a body attack. We're talking about going through a meticulous breakdown of everything that is a 6'9", damn near 270 to 280 pound, however he wants to play with his flesh that night. Tyson Fury. This is what it. Visualize your win, Wilder. Visualize your win. Fuck out of here, man. Timmy Neal and salute. He has to know what's up. If he doesn't know what's up, if he don't understand what is going on, if he don't understand what's about to take place, man, he's a fucking, like, man, like, but after hearing his father in that interview, he probably don't know what's going on. I just stood up in one real loud voice and I said, Get him, Deontay. Get him, Deontay. Woo. Tyson Fury still in the UK. Shouldn't he be in America now, getting used to the weather, time difference, and shit like that? I think Tyson Fury could literally stay over the UK till the last week for real, come over jet lag and still whoop his ass. For real. For real. People saying, oh no, don't underestimate Wilder, don't underestimate Wilder. I'd be like, man, I'm fully confident in who Tyson Fury is. And I mean, we already know who Deontay Wilder is. So by all means, take all the fucking time in the world. When you come back over, he's still gonna be the same shit stain, laying in the middle of the goddamn ring. Whatever round you choose to leave, lay his stinking ass out eventually. He gonna be all of that shit. Either way, we're gonna see. I want to possibly both hit the canvas with extreme prejudice. I'm counting on it being Tay Watch and this band of misfits. Hopefully, motherfucking hopefully they knocked the little light-skinned dude out too, man. What's his name? Tay Jones. I hope they knock him out too. Bad shit, man. What it do, King? How you feeling? I hope Tyson Fury brother knocks out Tay Jones just for me. Not once, but 2 times. I'm having too much fun with this shit right now. I promise y'all I'm having too much fun with this shit right now. Anytime Deontay Wilder's the topic, it's impossible not to have fun with it. And I'm trying to be as rational as I possibly can, because understandably so, this is a boxing channel or whatever. I ain't just trying to just run dude down. But I mean, everything that he's given us has been is a comedic punchline, man. Like, yo, he is who he is. He is who he is. What can I say? Maybe that's just him, and I'm just underestimating. Hey, this dude's character. You know, maybe he is just the type of person who has never been accountable for anything in his life. Just his whole brain has been mixed up and wish-wash with delusion. Maybe he is just really punch drunk on his own power. Maybe he does think he's the greatest freaking right hand sent from the boxing gods, and maybe he does believe he is a technically superior fighter with the better coach. And maybe I'm just underestimating it. Like, I don't know, man, but it's fucking funny. If White and Josh will get through their fights, should do, I hope. Man, them boys got tough fights coming up, man. Dillian White's fighting Otto Wallin. That's not an easy fight. I like Joey Gamache as a head coach, as a head trainer. I like Dillian White. I don't know. I don't really know too much about Dillian White's trainer. He's pretty much new on the block. I think like Dillian White's like his real major coming out party. But Dill looked good against Povetkin, but Wallin is a completely different guy than Povetkin. What's Wallin, like 6'5"? 6'5", 6'6"? What is he, like 6'5"? Maybe AJ's height? What's Dill? Dill's 6'4", right? 6'3"ish, 6'4"ish? You know, I think Wallin's got the reach, he's got the height, but I mean, shit, that ain't nothing new to Dillian White. I mean, but if it comes down to it, I got Dillian White, you know, stopping him. I would like to believe that Dillian White would stop this dude. I mean, if we want to just go all based off opposition and how quick you're learning on the job, I mean, Anthony Joshua and Dillian White have learned quite fast. And I would have to say that's based off of the fact that they were willing to make the learning curve not as steep by jumping in there with tougher opposition. And that's been nothing but great for their career. Man, has it been some hair plugging, pulling out my hair type shit and just biting my nails and nerves? Yeah, it's been that kind of way, but I mean, shit, you're only gonna learn on the job if you jump out there, right? So fuck it, why not jump out there? I think Otto Wallen, he's gotten a lot of experience from going 12 with Fury. Should learn how to pace himself out. His breathing should be a little bit better. I just think that Dillian White, man, Dillian White is just he'll pick him apart though, man. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a good fight for Otto Wallen right now. I would like to see Otto Wallen in a couple more fights before he fight Dillian White. What y'all think? Maybe that's just me. Maybe Otto Wallen is already ready. I mean, shit. He's fought former world champions. He's fought the Dominic Brazils of the world. As much as even though Dominic Brazil doesn't exercise any head movement, it is so much of he's been a proverbial punching bag. I mean, still a good fight. Otto Wallen's young. He's young. Who's the younger out of the two? How old is Otto right now? Man, Malik about as real as a $4 bill. Malik about as real as a $4 bill. Sitting back, training on Baywatch, BAE watch. Watching the sweat trickle down the back of Wilder. Thinking about, part 2 of his OnlyFans journey featuring Deontay Wilder. Telly and the big chick. If Daffy loses, he may accuse someone of spiking the sea. He was training and shit. I'm sure, I'm sure that he is prepared with multiple excuses. I don't think we'll be able to take in all of them with however many gigs that are left on my fucking brain, however many terabytes in my brain's operating on. I'm sure I don't got enough memory to deal with all the excuses this clown is going to make. What excuse hasn't he made already? I don't even think that he's left any room for any new excuses. The Megazord suit broke down on him. I mean, the water, the glove, the timing of the knockdown in the first fight. What excuse hasn't Deontay Wilder made? Is there any excuses left over for him to benefit from? I don't know if he got any left. At this point, it's going to be like, bruh, I think he's probably used about every, I don't know. I ain't going to underestimate that guy. Because if there was anybody on this in the boxing world that I will never underestimate their stupidity and how far they'll go with some completely non-credible shit, it'd be Deontay. For sure. Yeah, Auto 30. He the younger guy in the ring. I mean, it's a good fight, man. Both of them primed and ready, man. Good heavyweight fight. Good heavyweight mix-up. So to pack that one in October as well, man, that's a goodie. That's a goodie. From September to November, it looks like we setting up to have a pretty, spoiled couple of months here. Fall going into winter months here. So, I mean, shout out to boxing for that. Shout out to boxing for that. Wallen's taller, younger, southpaw, fair amateur career. Dylan not faced southpaw yet. I got Dylan by a stoppage. Got to respect the man's choices. Could have easily chose Areola. Yeah, man, you could have easily went the Andy Ruiz route, fought the outer nipple on pay-per-view, and got knocked on your ass 2 times and damn near almost lost the fight. That shit, yo, I'm sorry. Now, Andy Ruiz, he definitely deserves a boxing hiatus after that performance. That shit where Eddie Reynoso is king, motherfuckers got to stop saying that shit, man. People got to stop saying that shit, man. Just because you Mexican and you go get with Eddie Reynoso, it doesn't mean that you're going to make out as a better fighter. To be perfectly honest, How many of you are of the belief that Andy Ruiz looked like a much better fighter when he was with Manny Robles? Because I believe he looked better with Manny Robles than Eddie Reynoso. I think him and Manny Robles, they had a real opportunity to accomplish a lot of things and do some great things as a Mexican heavyweight in the sport of boxing that probably is going to be difficult for anybody to come in his path and do from now until God knows how long. But, Andy Ruiz would have had that spot for a long time. I just feel like it would have been smarter of him to stay with Manny. Man, Eddie Reynoso ain't the end all be all to success, bro. And I just wish dudes is just like such Canelo fucking like drunken Canelo lovers just get off of that shit. It's like what works for one doesn't work for everybody, man. Soon as Oscar Valdez go over there, you see what's going on with him. Tea time, ladies and gentlemen. So all I'm saying is just because, come on, man, look at Frank Sanchez. Like, all of these dudes, just because you with Eddie Reynoso doesn't mean that, I'm saying, you're going to win all of your matches, and so. Like, come on, bro. Hold on, what Zero say? Salute, Zero. Unrivaled, Mark in the building, salute. Appreciate you with the super chat, Brody. He says, my gloves were too heavy and someone spiked my Malik towel with the horseshoe that the ref gave him. Man, I'm telling you, man, whoever the ref is, like it would kind of be hard for me to want to even referee that event. Because knowing like the after effects of what comes from refereeing and a potentially debatable or a match that Deontay Wilder could lose, because you see all of the bullshit that comes with that. And it makes you really think to where it's like you could have, and it's so unfortunate for the referees, right? Because here you go, you truly give your all to the sport. Like, being a referee in boxing isn't easy. You have to go through a lot of shit to become a professional referee. And for you really to put in all of the effort to become the whistleblower, the whistleblowing aficionado that night, and to have a guy like Deontay Wilder, who has completely faked it his whole career, and it's just people have just laid out a red carpet for him that he could just continuously make excuses. Headlines can lie for him. Promotional outfits can go to bed for all of this bullshit. The WBC can protect his narcissism. I mean, I would really have to think about that, because Deontay Wilder shouldn't be able to just come along and ruin reputations on the level in which he ruined. I understand that it's shocking considering that he might be a heavyweight champion at the time or whatever, but I mean, shit. Like, let's look at some of the people that he are throwing up under the bus here. Like, Deontay Wilder has never taken a stab at individuals that are truly shitty in their everyday walk of life. He's pretty much taking all shots at pretty much stand-up individuals that have the resume to back it up, no matter what part of the boxing world they're dealing with. That's why it's just like, yo, for me, I don't even know if I would want that problem if I'm a referee. I mean, shit, Kenny Bayless held this dude up. And he shitted on Kenny. Damn, JD's watches the gloves get wrapped. He shits on Mark. Leaves him outside of the freaking the locker room, allegedly crying. And that was the one guy who was legitimate, who you could have actually benefited from. So all I'm saying is, does anybody that is a professional referee, or anybody who has anything that has to deal with Deontay Wilder closely on the night of that fight, yo, watch yourself. Watch yourself. Because you don't know what's going to transpire when it comes to that dude. George the Soul Survivor Reborn, appreciate you with the super sticker, brother. I mean, I would have to take all that shit into consideration, man. Fury used time travel like trucks from Dragon Ball Z. to treat me. I want a rematch. He better sit his dumb ass looking down. And Deontay Wilder went ahead and fucking hired Mr. Popo for a fucking trainer. Even though I'm not a fan of Mr. Popo, because that motherfucker is goddamn a blatant smack in the face of. I'm not even gonna go there. If you know who Mr. Popo is, you know why I wouldn't like him as a black guy. Shirley Wrinkles will be the ref. Man, they're gonna give. Hey man, who knows? I mean, look, man, is this a Premier Boxing Champions event, or is it an ESPN led event? I mean, we pretty much know last time ESPN led in the promotion. I believe they split one or two of those soft press conferences up, and they had one on Premier Boxing Champions, another one on ESPN, and I believe they were sitting down or some weird shit like that. Then I think a majority of it was ran. Then they said that they were going to Super Bowl night that they were going to promote the fight. That shit was literally, if you blink, you would have missed the advertising of it. Like, who knows? For real, but they ain't putting much into it. So if Deontay Wilder coming out of water, freaking hair shimmering, throwing that shit, whipping that shit back and forth like Willow Smith, like if that's gonna be what's supposed to sell it, man, I've seen nastier prostitutes. I've seen nastier prostitutes get a lot more viewership for doing way less. I'm just saying. Andy Ruiz ain't got any power after losing all of that weight. Dude, he looks fucking funny as hell, too. I'm just saying, man. What goes on over there? The world may never know. The world may never know. I should do like the WWE. Fuck it. Gas ref. AJ, that would turn into like a three-way brawl. Hey, man, that shit would be. Hey, imagine if they had Anthony Joshua on the ones and twos. I would be savage as shit with the comments. I'd be like, oh, right hand, windmill, thrown like a bitch. Like off balance right hook. Like, no, I'm not even gonna be like that. I ain't even gonna be all derogatory with it. Like, just give me the position of being a pundit. Just let me call out everything that's going on in the fight, and I'm just gonna call for exactly what it is. Off balance right hook, very lazy jab, very lazy right or left straight, very lazy uppercuts. Foot placement all wrong. I would just call everything for what it is that night. What is Deontay Wilder doing? Honestly, I think that fights would be a lot better if you called out what people were doing and not doing. If you had that kind of like fuck it kind of a spirit, like kind of like a Larry M. Fuck it, man. Like, why not? I think the more people call boxers out and they bullshit, I think that's when it gets better. I feel like people, especially professional boxers who are calling fights, I feel like they should say where people are coming up short more, et cetera, et cetera. Because, I mean, shit, what Tim Bradley and Andre Ward do, hey, I swear to God, man, Tim Bradley, I fucking love that dude. I love that dude. He commentates the shit out of some fights. He is a funny motherfucker, I'm telling you, and holds no cut cards. I feel like everybody should do it. You know, when it's a Premier Boxing Champions event, they're going to be soft with everything that they fucking say. And even when they're getting exposed, you already know. If you look at the CompuBox numbers, them shits are going to be so inflated. You think it's going to be just like that little floating house on the movie Up. Them shits is just going to be out of control. Then you're going to look at what's going on in the ring, and then you got Sean Porter capping for whoever's supposed to be the favorite fighter and who's supposed to win and whoever's supposed to lose, so he's going to be feeding them bullshit. Same thing Keith Thurman do, like, yo, I can't stand when Keith Thurman calls fights. He is the one dude that gets up there who says a whole lot of fucking nothing. And for as eloquently as he speaks and for as good as a talker he is, I'm like, bruh, you saying a whole bunch of nothing right now. with Triple H as a special guest referee. Fuck it, put him in the fucking big ass blouse with the tie and everything and throw his ass out there. Which Triple H are we talking about here? We talking about OG Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, long hair coming through like Fabio? Or we talking about D Generation X Triple H? You can suck it. I'm about to fucking give you the special and drop you right on your face, Triple H. Because if it's D Generation X Triple H, he's gonna really fucking let Wilder know about himself as a referee. He'll probably fucking dunk him on his fucking face in that bitch. And if it's the old school Hunter Hearst Helmsley joint, you know he don't give two fucks. He gonna be all proper, disrespecting him and shit. Yeah, PBC commentators would be like, close fight. Anyone could win at this point, and this dude has been knocked down 18 times, cutting both eyes. Man, it's absolutely horrible to watch that shit. So it's like, yo, it's like, man, when I could watch certain fights with my kid, and my kid can be like, I don't know, Dad, it's getting his ass whipped pretty bad, and you got the damn commentators sitting up there saying the exact opposite. Yo, when a child feels cheated when they're watching a boxing match, that's a problem. Because who's always very honest in their interpretation? Children. Children don't see things for how they could be. They don't see things anecdotally. They see things for how they are. So when you're up here feeding, because you got, boxing is supposed to be family event, sports entertainment at the end of the day. Kids should be able to sit down and watch it. If you got kids constantly sitting down and watching this stuff and they're just visual, they're like, yo, this dude is getting wrecked. Your kid's telling you he's getting wrecked, but the pundits are telling you something different. It's like, yo, like, it's bad. Because if a 10-year-old can see, if my 12-year-old can see you getting wrecked, and you not even owning up to that shit, and you got pundits out here telling lies like, bro, the game is fucking doomed. It's like, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Like, I feel like the upsets is what makes boxing so fucking awesome. I feel like the guy who comes down the ring that who doesn't have the machine behind him, who doesn't have the Stitch, Durans, that doesn't have, the Virgils, doesn't have the Robles, the Reynosos, the Ramos, whoever you want to name, the Ortiz. You don't have these guys. The Diaz, those individuals. Like the guys that don't have those dudes who basically had to, fly in, have their head coach or not even have a number two, but just have their trainer play their cutting in, et cetera, and you go in there and you like wash a guy. Kind of like how, Casemiro when he won his belt, or like, for instance, Mauricio Lara when he won his belt and shit like that, or just any event where you have shit like that happen. I feel like that's what makes boxing like the best theater, because it's like, yo, in the realm of the unknown, where you confidently think this guy got it down and he's really that dude, he can get fucked up that fast, and you're just like, oh shit. And when a style is applied to another style and it overwhelms it, and it's not the guy who you thought was gonna be overwhelming that person in the ring, that shit is what makes boxing great, man. But when you constantly take the political angles to where, like, you're not only robbing people. Now I understand some things that hit and miss can't be judged. Some things are going to play more than others as far as the political landscape that is boxing. But as far as when you know, sure, for a fact, dude is getting his ass whooped, you're shocked by it and all of that shit, bro. The worst thing in the world is to witness the robbery. I don't know, like, they might think they benefit from it, but do they really? Because if you see a guy lose, you kind of like, when you go watch him again, you got this kind of like level of, like, you're just real sus about it. You're just like, man, we know this dude ain't really whatever. So you kind of like, unfortunately, you have a level of apprehension towards whoever he's going to fight next. Whatever title is going up, whatever the hell is taking place, however he got moved into the mandatory spot for the title, or whatever the case may be. We know how this shit works. And just to see him there, even though you know he didn't make that decision, or he might not be behind the scenes with those people who decided, like, yo, we have to make this decision. He's going to wear all of the brunt of our frustrations, and we're not going to fuck with it. And we're not going to fuck with him until he shows something different. So I'm just like, do they really is it really more beneficial to continue to lie and just like give the other guy the win? I feel like it's better theater. I feel like it's better for boxing. Sometimes, like, yo, when the apple cart gets upset, there's nothing fucking wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with trying to figure out who the best really is. And there's nothing wrong with a guy losing. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Especially if you went out there and you fought and you put forth the type of effort you put forth. I'm just saying, I'm the type of person where I love the drama. The right type of drama, that is. Not the drama where it's like, okay, let's rob this dude, let's fuck him over, you know what I'm saying? Let's pop dirty for a banned substance and, you know, let's go outside of our way, deal with this other, you know what I'm saying? Boxing commission, let them go ahead, throw it with WADA, even though you know you're voluntary and you do your clean boxing program through WADA. Not that type of shit, not the Sergio Martinez, WBC type of shit. No bullshit like that. Not that, you know what I'm saying, we're just gonna say fuck it and do things our own way, but you know, the right shit. The upsets when the shits go the right way. I'm just saying. For me, I just think it makes better for the sport. And honestly, when it's an upset of a certain magnitude, I think we tend to appreciate the guy that much more. It's like, oh shit, you might not have looked at him at all before. But now you're looking at this fighter like, man, I'm really going to pay attention to this dude. So you got a whole different type of energy, I guess I should say, that you might necessarily have for the fighter that you might not have had before, because you got to watch him do some shit that you felt like he wasn't going to possibly do that night anyway. For me, that's the shit I like. Neither bald-headed Triple H with the Shao Kahn mask from Mortal Kombat. Though he's not bald, just shaved it because he can. Yeah, you know. Ain't Triple H, ain't Triple H really married to Vince McMahon's daughter? Only good thing about that trilogy is the possibility for either one facing Joshua or White. Like, at this point, bro, it's like Dillian White refuses to suffer from inactivity. He's going to fight whatever, you know, was the best opposition he can fight at the fucking time. And unfortunately, you know, it just, like, for real, I must say this, man. It's awesome to be Dillian White, but it really must fucking suck to be Dillian White at the same time. Like, you're like the bastard kid that goes out, like, you're like the second born son in your house or some shit like that. Or the unloved son, the one who always fucks up, who does wrong and shit like that. No matter, like, the one who always does right, but you get accused for doing the wrong shit. Knowing your brother did the bullshit, you always get in trouble for it. You always come home with the good grades. The other one comes home with straight F's, you know what I'm saying? A shitty ass fucking girlfriend that's already pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Just in and out of jail, trouble, whatever the case may be. And you're the one who always does shit right, but you get shitted on. I really kind of feel that way about Dillian White. It's like, he's always like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he exercises frustrations kind of loudly, but he should, though, at this point. But at this time, I feel like, fuck, I'm like, talking about it just ain't enough. I'd have been sick the dogs on him and not laid off on it, because all they're going to do is they're going to keep jerking you. Because at the end of the day, you've made it very obvious what you want more than anything. And the fact that they're playing on this man's his championship nature, his drive, and everything that he wants to be in boxing, you know what I'm saying, to jerk him and have him moving along like this is going to happen and this is going to happen. It's kind of fucked up, because Dillian White deserves to be taken care of on the same level of Anthony Joshua, on the same level of a fucking Lil Tay or Tyson Fury, or any of those guys. And Dillian White has been proven that he can pack the asses in the O2. So why the disrespect? I just don't want to see the dude get in a position where it's like, hey, man, you knocked on that door several times, you know, kind of like we kind of witnessed against Alexander Povetkin. I just don't want that to happen to him getting this far in. Not saying that it will, but it's just like, yo, this dude's treated like the bastard child over at Matchroom. They can't ever get right. Does Eddie Hearn have a brother that be fucking up or something? That Barry Hearn never talks about, that Barry Hearn never mentions, he just leaves him in the dungeon or some shit like that? Like, because if that's the case, that's fucking Dillian White. It's fucked up. Mickey Dub, salute. Honestly, it's like how outside entities looking in, if you've looked at everything that WBC has done just in the past 2 years, how the fuck are they even still around? It's like, you know, if you're a Mexican fighter, you can move with confidence as long as, you know what I'm saying, you're in favor of Mauricio Suleiman. It don't matter what you test, don't matter what you piss, don't matter what human growth hormones in your body, what PED, whatever it is, you know he's going to cover for you. Fuck it, mix a little crack in there too. Mauricio Suleiman has most certainly got your back. It's despicable. Especially in a sport to where, you know what I'm saying, how many people have passed away in the past couple of years? Rest in peace to those individuals. Boxing is an unforgiving sport, man. So if in that right, you have to be unforgiving about the things that you're right on. You should be unforgiving about the position that you're in. You should be unforgiving about wavering from your position and trying to be nice with a bunch of crooks who are never going to play nice with you. And I think if anybody should learn, if any fighter has learned anything from this Dillian White situation, I most certainly think that they should learn that from it. Fuck being the nice guy in the boxing world. Boxing doesn't do nice. Boxing does fucked up. That's what boxing does. Boxing does the complete opposite of whatever the definition of nice and whatever people's perception of nice really is. Boxing does completely the opposite of that. So that's why I would say, yo, it's so easy for, you know, you to be the bigger person or want things to work out smoothly without having to involve, you know, an attorney. But, like, realistically, given the breadcrumbs, given all of the things that have taken place, what's in writing and what's not in writing, I would say the best option is the sick attorney on him, slam gavel hard as fuck, and let justice, you know, shine the way it should. Let justice persevere how it should. Let Dillian White persevere through legal action as he should, because nothing about whatever Dillian White's going through should say that, oh, Dillian White's going to suffer from an L. And if dudes are butthurt that he wants to go that direction, hey, well, guess what? Be butthurt legally, but you're going to be fucking reprimanded to whatever you're supposed to do by the court of law. Because clearly, if it's done in the other way, if it's done off of, you know, whatever the contract stipulates, if it's done after, you know, shaking hands and being the good guy, look at what's done. You fight all of the tough guys. Hey, man, let's sanction freaking Oscar Rivas for the WBC interim and all of that shit. You try to find a way to fuck him out of the situation and all of this shit and say, oh, well, he's the WBC interim champion, but he's not the mandatory. Oh, so now you want to play. Now you want to play Matchroom. Now you want to play PBC. Now you want to play Top Rank. Well, shit, what is is it WBC? What is this? What is this? Is it WBC Promotions? I'm starting to feel that way. Salute George with the super chat. He says, Dillian White asks for a soft touch and gets Otto Wallen. You know, the guy who gave Fury a third eye. Man, imagine that. And those are the type of individuals I champion for. A guy who calls Otto Wallen a soft touch. That's his definition of a soft touch. We know what Wilder's definition of a soft touch is. Shout out Dustin Nichols. We know what Wilder's definition of a soft touch is. Shout out Harold Sconius. We know what his definition of a soft touch is. So levels, man. Levels. God Elon, salute King. How you feeling this morning? It's just levels, man. Unfortunately, once again, man, I truly feel like Dillian White, man, stop playing the bastard kid, man, knowing you're doing all of the right shit. Well, technically, Anthony Joshua, rightfully so, he's done all of the right things too. Both of them are great guys, man. It's not like Dillian White dislikes Anthony Joshua. There's a level of respect there. And he beat your ass, too. So, normally when somebody beats your ass, you ain't got no choice but to, let a nigga live on some level. I mean, he just beat your ass. But, I mean, they both do the right shit, but I'm just saying, when it comes to the WBC and that lane, Eddie Hearn should be, exhausting all of his resources, all of his efforts, legal team, whatever the case, don't spare no expense, because, look, you could simply have them all just by the way Mauricio playing. You can have them all. And then fuck it, in-house, big, undisputed match under bright lights. Do it the UK way. Pack it out, get all of the money, and tell them they ain't shit. In my Tiafimo Senior voice. For real. For real. The WBC belt used to be the most prestigious belt in the world. It was the belt that everyone wanted. But now it's so devalued in the name, it's not the belt the fighters crave. Man, I call that joint the vomit green piece of shit. Because in every sense of the word, that is what it is. And every action over the past several of years that have been of Mauricio and have been of the WBC just shows me why I can't respect them. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these motherfuckers probably, it ain't no secret the feds be at these motherfuckers' doors, man. They all on some real slippery shit. I'm just curious to know. I would like to know who the fuck is going to audit these motherfuckers. I guarantee you do an audit on half of these motherfuckers, they wrong. Half of them, they got bigger skeletons in the closet than we could ever believe. Stavern. And considering that was his championship match and Malik Scott was the gentleman with a fucking bag over his head, talking like, while JD's is sitting up there blowing up Malik Scott, like, oh, Deontay Wilder took on Malik Scott and Kid Dynamite. He was fighting the same type of people on his way. I'm like, bro, how fucking dare you? How dare you even compare the career, the undisputed career of a kid whose undisputed career started at the age of fucking 19, 20 at the latest. Correct me if I'm wrong. Reigned undisputed for what? 3 fucking years. How are you going to talk about Iron Mike Tyson and his career as a champion, literally a kid, to a 30-plus-year-old grown man still fighting spare cans and freaking cab drivers all the way up until his 30-plus fight? And we talking about Mike Tyson? Like, let's be serious, dude. I don't even think Mike Tyson, Deontay Wilder ain't even fought nobody as rugged as a Gulata. He ain't never fought nobody as tough as a Frank Bruno. And he damn sure ain't did it twice. I'm just saying, man. He ain't fought no Razor Ruddicks or nothing like that. But you got the nerve to compare Mike Tyson's career and yours. It's a reason why when you think of the knockout kings, Mike Tyson name, you don't even it ain't going to be mentioned second or third. Or when you think about power, you know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson is one of the first names that roll off of people's tongues, bro. What Mike Tyson did and what you did is completely different. Nothing was given to Mike Tyson. And too much that was given, much was required, and he measured up to all of that shit. So, did he fall short in the aspect of, okay, when it came time to, the Lennox Lewis, the Evander Holyfields of the world, did he fall short in a sense? They put that motherfucker in prison for fucking rape for 6 years when that was some bullshit. So I wonder what was behind that to put him away for 6 years in the prime years of his life. Now, did he lose to James Buster Douglas? Absolutely. But would Buster Douglas have beat him twice? I could say that I don't think that he would have. But when you alter the trajectory of, great boxers' careers, like, like Ibuchi or, Mike Tyson's and shit like that, and then you come back years later and you're trying to get off the bike while these dudes are hella fucking fresh, man, it's different. It was a different time when he came back. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson was a different dude before he went in. I'm sure mentally and physically coming out, he was a completely different person. So do people hold that against him in his career that he fell short? He should have never been in the ring with Lennox Lewis in the first place. But I do know Lennox Lewis took his ass from fucking the UK all the way up through the Canadian circuit to avoid Mike Tyson. I'm not saying that shit based off feeling. I'm just saying that's a fact. So at the end of the day, none of the shit Mike Tyson done, like, yo, you should ever even part your lips to even speak on Mike and speak on Deontay like they even walked it the same. They didn't. They didn't. Like, it's hard to find a kid. It's like, yo, like I said, too much is given, much is required. And he had to walk with a lot of that shit on his shoulders. A lot of that shit. You don't know what you don't know what the definition of a tough life really fucking is, and to block out all of the fake love, all of the bullshit that you going through, all of the shit you suffer from in the streets, all of the expectations put on you by custody and motto. Like, what? Cuss? You have expectations from Cuss, not just anybody. You got a young Teddy Atlas around you early. Like, expectations were real, and you could see how he faced them. You could see how it bothered him. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. And this is the shit that a lot of these motherfuckers who watching boxing now, this is the shit that they don't know and they don't understand. But you'll disrespect the Ernie Shavers, you'll disrespect the Mike Tysons, the George Foremans, even the Michael Moores of the world. You'll disrespect you know what I'm saying? You just the Ray Mercers. Like, come on, man. You'll disrespect those guys. What? Because they're unfamiliar to you, because you haven't stuck around long enough to know what it really looks like. You wasn't here when you wasn't with us when we was visually shooting in the gym. And what I mean by that, you wasn't with us when we was putting in all of these years, dedicating us to watching boxing, loving boxing, having family members in professional boxing or boxing ourselves, etc., etc. Those of you who do what y'all do. But whatever boxing is to you, y'all wasn't there. I'm just saying, man, that motherfucker's a joke. And this is what you get now. Baywatch style bitches. Tay watch. Ducks love to swim. Imagine that. Well, guys, I think it's about that time. Appreciate everybody for coming through. At this point, I'm just over it. Like, we're moving forward with some great boxing. We're moving forward with some great boxing cards. We're moving forward with some great boxing in the fall. Completely overshadows everything that is Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. You know, he can have the Twitter sphere. Just give us the whole, just the whole boxing atmosphere, and you could just stay all the way on the outside of that. You can stay all the way on the outside of that. And like, man, look, man, I'm looking forward to, Shakur Stevenson getting humbled. I hope that he gets humbled. No, I'm not going to say that I hope he gets humbled, because really, I don't dislike Shakur, but I think that, people are putting a lot more stock in Shakur when Shakur really needs to prove to us that he is more of what he has been lately. You feel what I'm saying? Like, Shakur has been less than impressive. Am I being a little too forward in saying that? He has been way less than impressive lately. Boring fighter, doesn't show great power, and I think that Jamel could potentially shake up. Look, while you doing all that talking, Jamel could beat you. I've never been the highest on Jamel Herring's ceiling, but I'm just saying. I've been paying attention to them both closely, watching their fights closely, and I'm just saying, dude, don't act like you just a shoe-in and you gonna fuck somebody up. Because when I'm watching Shakur stand in Jamel's face, I'm looking at a little boy. A little boy who thinks that the little shit that he doing, somebody even shaken up by that. You the smaller guy, he's the longer guy. He's just as kind of responsible as you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But the difference between if Jamel decides to pour it on and decides to beat a grown man in the ring, I think that could present a lot of problems for Shakur while he's trying to duck, dip, separate, and position himself for counter defensive shots and operate laterally on the outside of the ring. I think it's a very mysterious fight. I think it has a lot of realms of unknown. I think that could potentially be one of the better fights of the round off of the year. And I think, I'm not really feeling Shakur Stevenson, man. Don't have no problem with dude or whatever, but like I understand it's go mode, but I don't know how I feel about I don't know. Maybe I'll be putting my foot in my own mouth if I said that, because I'm always like, yo, it's the fight game. You're supposed to act how you act and rep and be who you are in your alpha male mode. But at the end of the day, I just see like his alpha male shit is coming more of as like beta obnoxious. And I'm just not one for that, especially when Jamel Herring is the type of champion he is, the type of person that he is. And I'm just looking at this dude who I'm just like, man, Shakur, you really ain't done shit yet, dude. Like your opponents, like Andre Ward got to protect you when you look bad. I don't know, man. I would just have to say, man, look, man, you can feel how you feel and you can show all of that, but save a lot of that shit for fight week. And just humble yourself a little bit, dude. Just humble yourself a little bit. But all in all, it's a lot of fucking heat coming up in the next couple months. A lot of fucking heat. So as we always say at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing. Pay a nigga no mind. I appreciate everybody stopping through. Once again, man, this is Reaper Gang Radio, and it's Deuce, baby. As we always say at the end of this shit, man, respect though. It's the motherfucking boss. Salute.